All right, everybody, welcome to the Confession Post podcast. And just a reminder to everyone, the show is inspired by the website confessionpost.com, and people write their very highly personal confessions there, and people offer feedback in the message boards. And we do something like that, only we're doing it verbally with a podcast. And that's something, if you've never listened to this show before, that also gives you a little thumbnail explanation of it. So my name is Morgan Rector, and my co-host is.
Von Dark.
All right. So I'll go first this week.
Yeah, because I went first last week, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
I remember some things.
It's
Go
Pat's.
for it.
All right. The title of this one is "My Daughter Still Wears Diapers." So
Oh
it starts
man.
off. My 13-year-old daughter still wears diapers. Yes, you read that right. She's barely a teen and still wears diapers. Let's say her name is Coco, not her real name. It started when she was 7 and her baby brother was born. Let's call him Hazel, not his real name. I don't know why you'd call him Hazel, but anyway,
Yeah.
my my Coco was jealous that Hazel was getting more attention than she was. She acted out for a while. She started throwing tantrums left and right. Whenever we asked her to do simple things, from getting dressed to giving Hazel her first chores, she would say no, like a toddler would. She gave me and her father the whole toddler treatment. Luckily, she keeps it. Um, Luckily, she behaves when not at home. Um, Another example of this poor grammar. She
Yeah, I know, right?
they wrote she keeps it behaves when not at home, so I'll assume what they meant. She behaves when not at home. So thank goodness for that. After a while of this behavior, we caught Coco wearing her brother's diapers. I was shocked, but I could not understand why. She also used his pacifiers too. Me and my husband thought that she could use both of them until she calmed down and grew out of this attitude. Well, these days, Coco still sleeps with a nightlight. She sleeps with a character blanket we all know she's too old for. She gets along with her brother Hazel now. She still wears the diapers. Coco still uses the pacifiers. She mimics her brother's attitude. What's the deal? What's going on with her? We were too relaxed with her. It's clearly not about Hazel anymore. What should we do? She's barely 13 and still wears diapers. Well, it seems, is parenting just disappearing? Is it just going away
I
altogether?
don't know what the fuck,
You
man.
can't just say to your child, "You're not wearing diapers anymore. Grow up." Like, I mean,
Yeah,
you
like,
didn't say if she had to change the diapers or not. Hopefully not, but
good God. No, like you're right. Like you're saying, like has parenting disappeared, and it's like people are like, I don't know, either way too relaxed or like way too fucked up with their kids. It seems it's like there's no medium, and now there's homeschooling,
yeah. I once
and
saw this
that's
on.
weird.
I once saw, yeah, homeschooling. I'm not on board with that. I think one of the most important things that a child has to understand and develop is socializing. It's easy to socialize with your family, but you really need to get out there and meet people from other backgrounds, other walks of life, because social skills are really the most valuable skills to have. It wouldn't matter if you had like 5 PhDs. If you can't get along with people, or if you can't network, you can't mingle with people, you're dead in the water. You're not going
Yeah,
anywhere. Like, people don't want to hang out with people they don't who don't make an effort to get along, or who they can't communicate with.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like one of the most important things. I mean, not to compare children and animals, but it's the same thing with animals. You got to socialize them in order to like kind of get used to being around people
yeah, yeah,
and conversing with people and being polite to people and realizing that people have feelings and things like that, like just you know it's human stuff.
yeah. And also, if you're just living with your parents and maybe other siblings, you're so used to this existence where everything revolves around you, that when you go out into the real world, it's going to be really stressful to find out that most people on the planet don't give a shit about you, and they're not going to bend over backwards to accommodate your sensibilities and whatnot. Like
Yeah.
there were these parents on Dr. Phil yesterday. Their kids like spoiled and abusive beyond belief, just fucking kicking holes in the walls and shit. And they admitted that when he was a little kid and he went to another child's birthday party, they would buy him a present so he wouldn't feel left out.
Right.
And which is
Yeah.
which is more than likely one of the reasons why he turned out that way is because he has no ability to accept that not everything is about you, and sometimes
Yeah.
another person's happiness comes before yours. And so I'm
Yeah.
not on board with the homeschooling thing at all.
Yeah. It's weird to me.
I mean,
Like,
a lot of the people who do it seem to be religious, like they're trying
oh
to.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, a huge part of it.
yeah, but
And then I feel like, well, it's not necessarily homeschooled, but it is sort of. But like the Amish people and whatnot, they don't go to like public schools usually, do they?
yeah, Amish, no, they don't do that. They don't usually send their kids
They
to.
have like a schoolhouse, like or
Yeah.
something, right? Like I'm just assuming, like
See, were you an only child?
between my parents, yes, but my mom was married before, and I have two half siblings,
Did you
and I
grow?
grew up with one sort of.
Yeah. So what? She had
And
like visitation rights or whatever.
what's that?
So what? Like that sibling came for like visitations? Is that how?
No, no, she she got kicked out pretty
Oh,
much. Like she was just too much. She went into foster care and she continued to be interesting.
how old were
Um,
how old were you when she came along?
she's 10 years my like senior. So like yeah, there was like a big difference because like she is like a teenager, right? And I'm like a kid wanting a big sister, and she's like, I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I mean, it seems like it's better for kids to have siblings than if they don't, because I was an only child and I think that kind of set me up for feelings of alienation when I
oh,
was.
totally. But I mean, like, I kind of felt that way too, because it's like, I was like, well, my like big sister doesn't even want to be my big sister. That's cool.
Yeah, and
Moving on.
yeah, to have and to not be introduced to that sooner, that was probably harder too, right?
Well, I was like a kid, and yeah, and then my grandpa that I really loved, he passed away when I was 8, and that was like around the same time, like all the same time, and then it like, you're realizing you got fucking ADD, ADHD as well, so you're like not really coping with things like well, but because like home's weird, and your grandpa's gone, and you loved him a lot,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like that was like where I was at. And I mean later on my like half brother came into my life, and he's dope. I love him. Like he's cool as fuck. I hung out with him as much as I could, like, and I would hang out with him more. My sister, not so much. I'd hang out with all my nieces and nephews though.
Hmm.
Yeah, and their kids.
So
I'm a fucking great aunt.
you're the cool aunt, huh?
I'm the weird ass aunt, and I've tattooed some of them.
Oh yeah?
Actually,
Oh,
yeah, I've tattooed some of them.
keep it in the family.
not
Yeah.
not the kids. No, not the
Yeah.
kids. The nieces. Yeah, we're just gonna like give this baby a little tattoo. No.
Does ADHD create instability in mood? Does that cause mood swings or
It
at all?
can be a little bit because like you get caught up in like for women, I think it's more like it can be more internal than men. Like they show signs of it like being restless and all that stuff, but women like kind of for the most part, not all of us, but can internalize it to the point like it's just like racing thoughts. So like you can kind of get yourself in a downward spiral really easily. Like But I mean, for the all the pros about it is that you're always prepared for everything that could possibly happen. Um, for the most part, for the most part, like they're like,
There's a lead to
I've
a lot of overthinking.
oh yeah,
Hmm.
like anxiety and overthinking. Like there's like so many things that go with it, and to boot, we're kind of like partly on the spectrum of autism.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
It's fun.
Yeah, yeah, totally. All
Yeah.
right. So, what's your first confession of the week?
Okay, so mine is okay. I am very angry. Oh, it's angry at God. I am very angry with the man, female, or however you would define God of the universe. He stepped out on us all, leaving us basically to figure it out for ourselves, and we have completely missed the mark. It took us way too long to get where we are now, and we ain't out of the woods yet. I would say we were up, and I really wish there was a little bit more, but I know where this guy's going at least. Like, I agree. God's left the building.
Having a little existential crisis. Yeah, yeah,
Existential crisis.
yeah. This guy should start a metal band. It's like a Marilyn Manson record or Danzig record waiting to happen. Maybe Nine Inch Nails too.
Oh man. No. There's a like one of my most favorite skits on SNL is this like what's up with that? And I feel like I mean that's where he talks about existential crisis is on there. Like again, it's actually kind of deep, but it's not. It's like anyway. That's neither here nor there. But this guy is angry at God.
Hmm. Yeah, I think. Well, he's probably on his way to becoming an atheist or an agnostic. Starts
Or
off with the
I
anger.
mean, God's already dead to him,
Well, I mean,
probably at this
well,
point.
it's like if you're one of those people who was molested by a priest, well,
Ooh.
how how could that not shake your faith in God? I mean, if
Oh,
one,
yeah, I agree.
if one of
Like,
the representatives is
what
responsible for that.
the biggest thing about it is like, this is happening in the house of God.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, yo, how could, look what God just did to you, man. Like,
Well, yeah, most child sexual abuse is perpetrated by people that were trusted, that the child was expected to be able to trust.
mm,
So, like, in fact, only 7% of the offenders were strangers to the child when they met.
yeah.
Yeah, so, not that that had anything to do with what you just read to me, but,
People be touching people in the house of God.
well, yeah, it's like I guess, a lot of people who at one time were
They're
people of
like
faith.
depraved.
They were told that if they, as long as they were faithful and did all the right things, that they would be protected or that they would be rewarded. And then that doesn't happen, and you just feel like, well, what's the point then? You know what I mean? So when the ratio of effort to reward is 100-0, it's hard to stay motivated to do anything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's true.
all right.
I was never really one to follow like so many like rules, like I'm not even I can't pick a religion, like I identify most with Satanism, like Leviathan, um
Yeah, I have a copy of the
but
Satanic Bible.
yeah, I had the Bible and the Satanic Witch as well. Like those are the two books that he had. And I mean, I had a couple other ones, but I also like kind of tried to delve a little bit deeper into like Crowley and like other people. And it's like honestly, it's a very long fucking trip to like find exactly what you
Yeah.
believe in. And like you don't have to like honestly, you don't have to read everything. It's cool to read a lot of things. It is, but like you can pretty much like kind of say like, look, I'm loosely this. I'm not like, you know, I don't believe in the sky daddy. you know.
You believe, or did you ever investigate Wicca?
Oh man, I practiced Wicca when I was in high school. I actually still love it. Like I practice it in my own ways still
Yeah,
because I feel like I have like I don't I don't mean to sound like like fucking kooky or anything, but we all have like sort of our inner like it's basically law of attraction if you put it out there, right? So if you believe in it, you're putting the energy out. And Wicca's kind of like that, but at least you're worshiping like the earth and things, like you're a little bit more tied to real aspects. And like everything was kind of based off Wicca. Well, actually, everything was based off of the stars. A lot of
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm an astrologer.
I love astrology, honestly. I could eat that shit up so much.
Yeah, read a lot of the books. I've been obsessing over that since I was 18.
Mm. Yeah, out here, like the like one awesome thing that I love about the sky out here is like, like when you're a kid and you went to the planetarium and like they'd point out all the constellations and stuff, and you're like, like it kind of like like I don't remember all of them, but I remember a good chunk of them, so I could pick out some of them in the sky. But like, what's really cool on a clear night out here, you can see it almost looks like a strip of stardust. And there's nights where they call for meteor showers and like you can see that, but like you can see that on like almost any given night you'll see a shooting star. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like if it's clear.
I never thought to go out and do that when I was still living there. Well, someday, someday.
Yeah, when you get out here, man, like it is the best place to go check out the stars. It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Toronto has light pollution, so you can't really
Oh
see.
man, there's lots of places out here that got you can't see stars out in the city. You can only see a little bit. It's not like out here. Out here, you can see like so much. It's so great.
Yeah, totally. Oh, and then I was going to say my point of
Yeah.
magic is that it's not conjured, it's made. Like
Yeah.
when a woman, does all the makeup and decides to look really sexy for a date, like the
She's
effect has,
instilling it is magic for
yeah,
real. Like it's instilling a feeling in herself which she's projecting out. And it's also like it's sort of the art, it's a ritual of getting ready, and you're imbibing, you're imbuing yourself with sexual energy, which is great. Like you can like that's part of the reason why like we get all made up and stuff, because it's like we feel sexy,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we're gonna like project it more, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a different vibe about a woman who's in that mode. Not
Yeah.
it's not just about the way she looks, but the way, just the energy she's giving out. So that's magical. Or like if you made a cake from scratch, the whole process is
Yes.
magical. But once you're
Yeah.
finished and it's all iced, and then someone eats it, that's like
Hmm.
magic in that moment. So it's constructed.
It
It's
is. It
yeah,
is. Like, I think magic is kind of underrated. A lot of people don't believe in it, but like, magic is kind of everywhere. It is like what you said, like creating food, creating anything that you create that somebody else like partakes in. You have your energy in that food, and
yeah, totally.
you're nourishing them. You're like being a part of them in a way.
And yeah, music is a magical thing.
Oh man, music, I like honestly, it's like a huge part of my life. And it like
I'm
gets you there too. Like, it's a lot of people, well, I can't do anything without music, but like sometimes I'm very particular. Like if I'm cooking, sometimes I'm like putting 1940s music on,
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
like Louis Prima or something like that. Or
I love Louis Prima.
yeah,
He's like one of my
yeah.
favorites. Louis
Me
Prima is like all-time favorite. Um, I know a lot of Frank Sinatra, but there's other people. I had two copies of the shit. It's 1945. I'll remember it later. There's two copies of these. Like, it was a small like piece of vinyl. Like, it's like a sort of original press, I guess. And I had like I ended up with like a couple of ones from like 1930s, and one was like worn out, but it still played a bit. Like, you could
Oh yeah.
faintly hear it. Oh, it was so good. Like, even though it was like crappy as all hell, you could still hear the music. But like what made it really awesome was that so many people played that record, you know?
Yeah, I even like I like some classical music. I even like the
I
Glenn
love
Miller.
classical. Yeah,
Glenn,
that's the one. That's the one. I
that's
had
what you're gonna say.
two copies of the Glenn Miller soundtrack.
It's yeah, that Granny music, because
Yeah,
that's like Golden Girls music. I remember them
it's
talking
so
on the show
good.
about his music. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
that
Yeah,
was the one. Glenn Miller. Yeah, I had two copies of that. And that's on vinyl. And it's just because I was like, oh, Taz Records out here, they'll have like buckets of just free stuff. And like, if you root through it, like, you'll find some decent shit. And I found some good classical, well, not, yeah, some classical, like classical music, and the 1940s stuff.
yeah. I have a vinyl collection. I was more into it to collect like rare and unusual records.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Like I have a Mini Pops record. I have
What's
one of those.
that?
Do you remember the Mini Pops? They were
Mini Pops.
these kids like dressed up like popular pop stars, and then they went
Oh
on
my God.
this divert. Like one kid would dress up as Boy George, and he sang one of his songs. And
Really?
you never
You
heard.
had that on vinyl?
I have one of those albums on vinyl. I have a. Do you remember a show called Video Hits on CBC? They put out an
Mm.
album because compilation albums were huge for decades until now, really. But yeah, they put out like a few songs, just these pop songs, and I think most of them were like Canadian music. But I had that, and yeah, it's mostly about just getting rare records, like
Yeah.
this record called Fish Heads. Did you ever hear
Oh, dude, yes, I know Fish Heads.
the
That's Barnes
LP?
and Barnes.
Yeah, the LP is shaped like a fish. It's
What?
really cool. Yeah,
Oh, that's so sick.
yeah.
Yeah, like I've snapped up some weird ones myself. Like, I got this, I think it's like a 4 pack. It's like Russian marching band music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, I figured, like, I mean, I was really curious, right? Like, there was some really good finds in a lot of places. I had like I did a lot of hunting in Edmonton, and then when I came back here, I did a little bit. So like I kind of found like I found some decent shit when I moved back here. Like, I was really impressed. But Edmonton had a lot of like electronic stuff, because like it's almost like all of the like rave people kind of gave up all that, right? So they kind of just got rid of all their vinyl.
Yeah. One thing I'd like,
So,
if I get rich and go antiquing, one thing I'd like to buy is like one of the original gramophone record players.
oh yes, and like repair it so it actually like is like it can play good.
Yeah, it would probably be hard to find one that still
You
works.
want to find a decent needle so it doesn't fuck up your shit, right? That's what
Yeah,
I would do.
spread.
Because like I know back then it was like things were kind of brutal. That's why the records were so thick too.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like the fucking needle was gonna pierce right fucking through it.
Yeah, really.
Oh man, you know what? Like, I wish I could have been alive in those days, but I don't. You know what I mean?
Oh, there was a lot of shitty things about being alive back then.
Oh yes, so many shitty things. Like, I just want to see it for like maybe a week, and I'd be like, good. You
But
know?
I don't know how your parents feel about the fact that you haven't gotten married and had kids, but back then
No,
that
I'd
was a
have to be a
different thing.
flapper. Like, I just go
Oh
right
yeah.
into that.
Yeah. But yeah,
They
yeah,
wouldn't even know. I would not tell anyone how old I was.
but that was
That's
almost scandalous back then, not to
oh
take
man.
that route. Hmm.
Like, see, I could go back there and they'd be like, because like you're supposed to be married at like what, 13, something like that back then.
I think even 21 was considered old for
Right? So like
spits.
for me to be like, yeah, I'm like 40. I'd have
Yeah,
to be like, I'm like fucking 16, and they'd be like, yeah, right. Like,
yeah, really.
no, look at my boobs. Look, see, I am. I
Be barefoot and pregnant.
have to
But
take my fucking nipple piercings out. They'd be like, oh my god, she's a savage. No,
what happened to you? Did you fall down the stairs with a tackle box or something?
oh man, no, like I'd be in the fucking circus, man, with my ears and my tongue. There's no
Oh,
way I could
yeah.
survive the way I was right now.
Yeah, that was the route you took if you were like a counterculture person.
Yeah, I'd have to be in the circus.
Yeah, right.
It's like they'd be like, "Whoa, what? Like your ears and your tongue?" And like, yeah,
Oh yeah, well, I
okay.
mean, people who were heavily tattooed became a side show attraction back then. Like Krista, she wouldn't want to do it, but they would definitely want her because she's tattooed from head to toe.
Hmm.
You haven't been inked up that much, right? Or have you? Like,
Not really. My whole back is like fairly open. My legs are really open. I only have like almost one complete sleeve on one side and a couple areas like on my torso and my like upper knees and my head. My head is actually pretty tattooed because I got horns and shit too, but I'm not that tattooed. She's tattooed more,
yeah, she's
definitely.
got the back tattoos. She's got
She's
tattoos
got
she
more
can't even
tattoos
see.
than I do. Yeah. I saved my skin though. Like I was like, I want to get some like decent pieces, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And I'm starting to get old now. Need to fill that up. I want to get I want to get Satan on my back really bad.
I mean, like
Like
a
a
Baphomet?
depiction of Baphomet.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
I
inverted.
want like a nice like traditional Baphomet with a bit of color like to it because I'm pale
Yeah.
and I should like fucking do some color because it'll look good. But
Yeah.
anyway, I have so many plans and it's gonna take so long. It's a little bit overwhelming, but
A lot of
like
money too.
anyways.
Yeah. All right. So you're up now. Oh no,
Like
I'm up now. That's my
yeah, we did
yeah.
we do like okay, I did Angry at God. You did.
Yeah. My next one. It's the title is I was sexually insulted in front of my husband. So my husband and I bumped into my former fiance while shopping. I was wearing compression leggings. So I guess those are like just
Oh
tight.
yeah, 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 yeah. I
Like
think
no,
it's for like compression leggings can be for what is it? Those veins, varicose
varicose
veins
veins.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely potential camel toe in this story. Uh, being polite, I was open to giving him a hug. During the hug, he took it upon himself to give my ass a firm squeeze and pop. I didn't want to make a scene, so I playfully told him to stop. He gave my husband a fist pump and said, "You're a lucky man. She's a sexy, tight ass." My ex used to do and say that when we were together, but we're not together anymore. I was embarrassed and pissed at both of them for acting like frat boys. Later, I expressed my emotions to my husband about how that made me feel. My husband joked it off and told me to lighten up a little. He even said, "I don't know what the big deal is. You used to have sex with a guy. You two were engaged and you lived with him for 4 years. I'm thinking of pursuing sexual assault charges." Well,
Well,
I would say she does. Obviously, she's not going to be able to count on her husband to be a witness. But then again,
I
she's
was like, I was,
that
you know what's
relationship's probably,
funny?
yeah.
I was going the frat boy way. I was like, well, what if they just all had like a three-way?
Well, I'm thinking like maybe her husband's one of those guys who like wants to watch his wife have sex with another guy.
Yeah.
Some people are into that.
Oh man, like it's called cuckolding or whatever. There's like
Yeah.
all kinds of like things. It's
Um,
weird.
So yeah, that marriage is dead in the water. That's not
Oh
gonna.
man, like okay, so yeah, I mean, I have a few things to say, I guess. Like it could be. It just depends on like what kind of fucking sexual dynamic there is and like what they expect from each other. If she like, expected him to kind of at least like be on her side or whatever, like
He should be, yeah.
he should be like it's okay to say something like that just joking, like literally just joking. You're like, no, I like honestly, honey, like if you really have something wrong with it, like I can ease up. Like, but I had to get these jokes out, whatever. It depends on how comfortable you are with the person. Because sometimes you have that kind of dynamic, right? Where you can joke. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, it's shitty for her because it feels like he totally like just left her like fucking he ain't there, you know?
Well, she was molested. I mean, that's really what happened.
Yeah, molested by like her ex.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't just because he was her ex. That
Yeah, I know that's the
you know.
thing. That's the line that like men get skewed, not making excuses.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is sort of like the world that there is. And like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I like kind of sort of like taken advantage of some sort of thing like that, but I feel like women have a little bit more leeway. And it might not be right, but we can definitely get away with it. It's not like, you know.
Well, I mean, the victim, if they consider themselves a victim, they probably wouldn't fear something as something like rape. They might not
Yeah,
fear aggression. They might
yeah,
just feel like, well, she went over the line, but it's
yeah,
definitely scarier and more threatening if it's a man. That's for sure.
totally. Because like there's that, they are a little bit more aggressive, more powerful, things like that. Like by like, stereotypes and whatnot. They're like honestly, I don't fully agree with it because I know how women are when they are at male strippers and it's insane. So like you can't say you cannot say that like women aren't fucking aggressive or like fucking will tear your dick off. Like like seriously, like some of us are really shameful. But I mean that's just like honestly, I think we're almost running an equal game on that. Like if you take all the fucking middle-aged women that go to see Chippendales that fucking have grabbed a whole lot of dick and almost tried to suck it, or like threw their tongues down their fucking throats, like literally, like this happens. I've heard stories, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. I feel for male strippers. They have the worst.
Oh yeah,
They do.
yeah. Especially if they're gay, that would be even worse.
Yeah, it's like, no, I don't want to make up. I don't want to make out with you, Barbara. No, no, Barbara, no.
Well, I mean, I see that the way I would react to the situation is actually more along the lines of typical caveman, where I would be really pissed off and want to hurt the guy and maybe even feel like I really should punch him in
Well,
the face
yeah, like this is where, yeah, this is good.
because the
You
woman's
know,
right in front of me. I don't want to look like
yeah,
and let that happen and not do anything.
yeah. And I mean, like looking like a total douchebag. Like, fuck, like, yeah, maybe she should just divorce him.
Yeah, this guy's a shitty husband. I mean,
You're right.
he's
There's no
probably
saving that.
it's probably clueless in most other areas.
Like he's doing a fucking Neanderthal fist bump over like her ex molesting his current woman right in front of him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, good job. Like, oh yeah, he's got like, okay, never mind. You don't want to treat that guy to like anything other than divorce papers.
Yeah, exactly. He just views her as a toy, I guess. Like in somebody's just a plaything without feeling.
Yeah, it can come down to that shit for sure.
You should get one of those Japanese robots that Japanese men are having sex with. Maybe that'd be better for
Yeah. So like, you can watch these like things where they take you down tours of like parts of the city in Japan, things like that. Like it's sort of like somebody walking around with a camera, like down like really cool parts of Japan, little alleyways and uh places that look kind of like Times Square, but like um Asian.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna say Asian because it's broad, and I don't like, I feel like sometimes I'm too white when I talk
Well,
about this stuff, but I know my culture, I do. I'm just really lazy.
I mean, there is, well, Japanese culture does differ from a lot of the other
Yeah,
Asian.
well, like, okay, so there's Mandarin and Cantonese, and
Yeah,
then there's like, well, fucking Filipino,
Korean,
right? They Korean,
means
yes, okay. Uh, see, this is where
homophile.
I get really white. Like,
Homophile, isn't that the food you like? Foul or
oh man, I love that shit. There's a really good place in Dartmouth, man. It's like the bomb ass shit. Everybody loves it. I have a t-shirt somewhere. I bought a t-shirt
oh,
because it's actually that good. It is really good. Anyway, so yeah, going down those streets, they have ads for people. Basically, like I guess it's like what you would see in your like the back pages when you guys had
yeah.
that, like, but it would be like videos, like, people you can just go rent them out at clubs, or they can rent clubs to promote themselves.
Oh yeah, that's
Like it's sort of like being a hooker, but like you can just like hang out with them though. Like it doesn't have to be like sexual, but it probably is sexual.
wasn't that like isn't that half of Instagram at this point? People do
It's
like
like a lot of OnlyFans for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And Instagram links up to that sometimes. Like it's like a sort of like, you like this, go to my thing.
Oh
You
yeah,
link it up, right? You link it up. It's all about that.
yeah.
You have to fucking be all over. You gotta skeet all over media, basically. If you want to if you want to be an artist, a porn star,
Hmm.
cam girl.
Yeah, really. Well, I remember this woman saying like she spent some
All
time
the
in
same
Japan.
thing. What?
This woman who visited Japan. I think she stayed a little while. She says like men will just read pornography out in the open on the train or whatever, because they never went through a sexual repression period like white people did with the Victorian era. They
They
never
were
never had.
weird all around.
Oh yeah, well yeah. There's a lot of weird sexual shit going on in Japan,
Yeah.
but yeah, they just never they never ascribed taboos to sexuality. That was just it never happened there. So they're definitely, I guess, more open about it in some circumstances. I don't know how.
Yeah, I think some areas are like, but they still have like a lot of porn that's like totally like fucking bleeped out. But they
Oh
also
yeah.
have other shit too. But it just depends on where you're like, what part of the Asian area you're looking at.
Well, Howard Stern, Howard Stern once wrote about this incident where he knew this woman who was very ill, like terminally ill, stuck bedridden, and she liked to watch Seinfeld. This was back in the 90s, like the mid 90s, I think, or early.
Right.
And so he had a tape with like numerous Seinfeld episodes on it. So he asked one of his assistants to make a copy to give to that woman. Well, the guy forgot to press record, and what the woman received was what was called a Japanese enema tape, where
Oh,
these guys on a beach in Japan.
hentai?
Well, they gave these girls no, this was live action. they gave these girls enemas, and then they shat
Oh,
diarrhea on surfboards. And so
oh my God.
this woman's settling down to watch Jerry and Kramer and the gang and their antics, and there's these like
Oh,
Japanese women shitting on surfboards.
that is like the most. Okay, so that needs to be.
Yeah, that they called him up and screamed at
That's
him.
kind of amazing. Like, I'm sorry. It's like like to me it feels like it belongs in like Fight Club or something like.
Well, they thought that he did it on purpose, like as a prank.
Oh
Know that.
no.
Yeah.
Were they mad?
Oh yeah, they were mad. Yeah, they're like, "This is sick. We don't know what you were thinking and all this stuff." And so he had to explain that his
Mhm.
assistant fucked it up, and yeah,
Oh my God. That's like the worst. Like no one's really gonna believe you.
yeah,
Ever.
because he's probably had like every kind of porn.
Like ever. No, like it's like no there's no turning back. Like how do there's like because people will be thinking this okay, this is why I said it's some Fight Club shit. Because it's like it's a manipulation thing, right? Like it's like a suggestion. It's like okay, so they did it in the movie where they like showed a blip of the porn like the porn thing when they were like during the kids movie. They said they'd splice a little bit of porn in the
Oh
middle of
yeah,
everything, right? They did it like that's one example. But when I read the book, I didn't get to finish it all. I was like so far with it, but then I lost the
yeah, I read
book.
the book too. Yeah.
So they're talking about the dinner party where um Buddy leaves a note and says I pissed in one of your things. And the
Yeah.
lady just fucking lost her shit. Like over just the fact that she didn't know what it was, and there's all these expensive perfumes and like things like that, whatever. And like it's just like, yeah, I pissed in one of your things, but like and she's in a dispute with like she's got all this other stuff happening in her life, and it's during a dinner party, so she doesn't know who the fuck pissed in her shit, but she's losing her shit because it's like her fucking status is up there too, like for debate, right? There's so much. And I'm just like, you fuck with people like that. Like you can tear down lots of walls. Like I'm telling you, like fucking with someone's mind is the fucking top notch. Don't fucking you know, don't worry about fucking brute strength as long as you're smarter than them. Like that's what matters.
Well, supposedly one thing that the Manson family would do to fuck with someone's head is they would go in their home and rearrange all the furniture.
Oh
So
my God.
it would totally
No,
yeah. I mean,
no.
that might actually be more unnerving than
It is.
something.
It is.
Yeah.
Because you're like, who the fuck? What? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it drives your mind fucking bananas.
Oh, you go
Because you're
crazy.
trying to, like, find a reason.
Yeah,
Find
there's
a
no sense
reason.
to
Find
it.
a reason.
Yeah,
It
it's not.
drives you mad.
Yeah, anything that's done like that, this doesn't make sense.
It's
That would
just,
definitely freak you out.
oh,
Yeah.
man. I love, like, honestly, like, the mental shit. Like, it's the most fascinating ever. But it's, like, the most, like, if you want to get under someone's skin, you don't fucking torture them. Don't fucking like whatever. You fuck with them. You really fuck with them. And
Yeah,
you do
totally.
it like mentally. Like you do it. You fucking do weird ass shit like that.
The fear
Like
unknown. Yeah.
it fucks people up so bad.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like I wouldn't want to do it. Like that, like to me, that's like I wouldn't wish that shit on my worst enemy. Like, well, maybe on my worst enemy, yes. Because my worst enemy is my worst enemy. Fuck them, right?
And the best kind of revenge is like legal revenge. Like if someone has
Well,
someone.
I like it when they fuck their shit up. Because
Yeah.
it's not
Well,
on me, right? Like if you drive them to do it and there's no traces, that's cool.
if they've done wrong, if they've done wrong to you and you happen to know they have like 100 pounds of cocaine in their house and you call
And
the
you just,
cops on them, Yeah, you know.
You figure something out. You can totally like, you know, you can like even like you can do like a little bit better. Like send someone over there that like can just fuck their shit up, and then the police are there. Oh, what's this? Like
Or get someone totally hot to like date them until the person falls in love with them and then break it off and
the long con.
yeah,
Always the long con.
it'll cost you someone,
Always.
but
I
that
fucking
would cost.
love the long con. The long con, honestly, that is where you fuck people up the most. The
Yeah,
long
it
con.
would. Didn't to find out that not only did they never feel that way, but that
It's like, no, you were a fucking pawn in my little
yeah,
chess game. That's what's up. Like, ooh, burn.
it's better than a shot to the head.
Oh man, it's like it like for those who want revenge, that is the way. That's the way. Honestly, long con, the most satisfying because like you're the smart one. Like
It would have to be it would have to be someone who actually isn't like model hot. They should just be kind of average hot.
no, you need to have like you have to have the right people for this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like the most convincing people. People within their league. You can't have somebody that's
yeah,
crazy fucking retarded hot. It has to be believable, right?
yeah, yeah.
I've thought this out already. I have ADD. We've talked about this.
Well,
It's
actually,
sort of like I don't know, like I love like the human mind because of this shit. And I've always that's why I'm like I've always been sort of like, just what I finished talking about, like manipulation, long con. That's how you really fuck people up.
well,
That's
it's like
like,
well, people often they always think like when they see a super hot girl with an ugly guy, they think, oh, he must be rich. But the other possibility is she is crazy, and I mean unmanageable
mm,
crazy, so crazy. Most guys just said, you know what, it's not worth it. I can't deal with this anymore. But
yeah,
he's sticking with her because she's so hot, so he doesn't want to give it up, and maybe he has low
yeah.
self-esteem, but she may be making his life a hell on earth. So nuts, you know?
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. All right. So your next confession. That's you're up.
Okay, cool. All right. So, alpha male. I'm an extreme alpha male in a very sense. Every sense probably.
Yeah.
In
Every.
every sense. Position, status, conditioning, etc. The strange thing is that in relationships, I'm drawn to women who are dominant in the bedroom. The more dominant they are, the better. I like it. What the fuck is beeping? Sorry, someone. Anyway, someone on the desk was beeping.
Oh yeah.
I'm drawn to women who are dominant in the bedroom. The more dominant they are, the better. I like it. I am not one for labels, but this seems counterintuitive to the alpha male definition, and I'm confused by it, frankly. This is a very age-old thing. Like,
Wait. Did he say he just wants them to be dominant sexually, or
no, he said he's an alpha male, and he's confused by the fact that he likes dominant females.
hmm,
He said, the strange thing is that in relationships, I'm drawn to women who are dominant in the bedroom. The
oh,
more dominant they are, the better I like it. I'm not one for labels, but this seems counterintuitive to the alpha male definition, and I'm confused by it, frankly.
hmm.
So, I
Well, it's sexually
feel, yeah,
sexually aggressive women are pretty sexy. That's a pretty hot thing.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, okay, this has been a thing. Like, there's so many men in power that love to be dominated. They're like, it's a thing. Like, so
Pegged.
many men in suits love that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do that all day long where they like fucking they crack the whip, whatever. And then when they fucking get home or when they're like, they got some time to themselves, at the end of the day, what they really want It's just, some bitch in a lot of leather to stomp on their balls and call them a bitch.
Well, you know what? There's like a lot of responsibility and pressure that come along with being a leader, and maybe it's a relief to just
It's just you just need like to like it's almost like they've been giving it so they want somebody else to like take it and like like I feel like it's almost a reciprocal thing.
yeah, it's I guess it's a way of like
It's a
establishing
cycle.
balance. It's a way to establish balance, which is what your body always wants to push
It
yourself in one
strives
direction
for
too
it
far.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you drink too much, you smoke too much, or whatever.
In weird ways, like, and it
Yeah,
tells you in weird ways too. Like it's just like it's hard to pay attention to it. And like, you know what? I think that's like one of the like number one things. It's like if you're like over functioning in one area, you're gonna want to have that balance somewhere, right?
yeah, and if you're an executive overseeing like all these projects and
Oh man, you're like so busy to the tits every single day.
And so, yeah, you might want to decompress by having someone take charge and relieve you of all the responsibility. And they can do that in the bedroom with some girl that maybe they pay because a lot of women provide that service.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man, like dominatrix actually like they make a decent mint. Like I don't know exactly what they make. I've never actually like I've never been hired for such a thing.
Well,
I've been propositioned a lot, but
a,
not
form-
hired, no.
a former friend's brother went to undergo a session of that as a sub, and he paid her $300. So maybe that's kind of
Yeah, I mean it depends on what it is and like how comfortable the person is doing the thing. Cause like honestly, like I'll degrade somebody, but I'm not gonna love it. So I'll probably charge a lot of money to degrade somebody.
well, I think
But
he
like
in the
to
90s.
stomp on somebody's balls, I'll like probably charge like $50. No, just kidding.
Those that probably costs
Totally
more than that.
kidding. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. It'd be more like at least 1,000.
Well, I mean, it's a considering that consent is involved, it's technically a
Well, I mean, you
victimless
gotta
property.
like they want their balls stomped. I'm okay
Yeah.
with doing that. I'll stomp on your balls, but
You have spike heels?
not like spike heels, like not the stiletto
Yeah.
things, but I have some really heavy boots.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have some good boots.
Like the ones with the buckles and things on them.
Yeah, like some have buckles. It's there's a few different kinds. Oh man. I have like the best pair of boots and I hope I still have them. Actually, I just thought of them. Okay, so like they've got like buckles and they lace up and stuff and but they also zip up because it's easier that way. But um the uh heel of it is like a revolver. It's not a real revolver. It's just like, a fucking revolver. They're called like Bond Girl Pleaser boots. Anyway, I fucking love these bitches. Love them. They're my favoriteest boots in the whole wide world. And
Tall boots are hot. They're very,
they're
very
like they're up to my knees. Like I wanted like, I would have gone bigger, but like they're still really fucking good. Like they're they're good. Like they're fucking stripper boots. I have two pairs of the same sort of like they're from the um same line, but like different styles, right? Like one's like sort of like a slip-on that has like an ankle attachment thing and it's all bullets, but the bottom is still like a revolver. Um one
that's
time when I was traveling back home, um the Halifax people here, they're like, you can't travel with those. It has a gun on the heel and like people will think you have a gun. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like this is a shoe. It's clearly a shoe. You can't fucking fly with this. Like,
so what did you end up doing?
I just left it. I left it here and got it sent back out. Like,
Oh man.
And there was also I bought a switchblade comb
Oh,
from
for
Freak
those are
Lunchbox.
cool.
Yeah, from Freak Lunchbox. It was for my friend Shane. And like, yeah, they're like, oh no, that looks too much like a knife, even though it was clearly open and you could see that it was a comb. I fucking like, ugh.
Yeah.
I
If I
hate
were to
flying
fly somewhere,
sometimes.
if I were to move somewhere and fly to get there, I have to throw away my Swiss Army knife because
No, no, no. You just get it sent. You ship it out.
oh,
Ship it, like, ship it to me. Ship all the things that you don't. Anyway, we can edit this part out.
that's the only that's the only weapon I own. It's not.
But that's what you do.
It wouldn't even. The only
You
way you
ship
could
it.
you could do damage with that one is if you
Because
like
like
poke. Yeah.
if you were to put it like in with some stuff like whatever and like wrap it really nice like
Yeah.
and like go like to your grandma like wrap it like write some fucking endearing shit on there, make it seem like it's a sentimental switchblade, you know what I mean?
Put it in a can of coffee so
And then
the knife sniffing dogs can't smell it, I guess.
and then we'll just like it'll like I'll be like, yo, it's like it's right here.
Yeah, right.
That's how you get it like anywhere. You have to like ship it. Cause like you never know what they're gonna fucking x-ray. Like they get weird. They get fucking weird at the airport.
Well, if they think you have drugs, they'll look up your ass. They'll
Oh
do.
man, they'll do like okay, so I've always been selected and like
Oh yeah, I wonder why. Yeah, was
yeah,
it?
right? Like
And
and it wasn't until I like started looking weird that they like actually like they really got on that. And then one time when I was coming back home from Goose Bay, I like I had gotten some stuff from our legal cannabis dealers in a storefront. It was like basically a syringe full of fucking like Phoenix oil. And it was like there was maybe about 3 ounces, three like and it like it's an 8 ounce fucking thing. Like it's an ounce or milligram, sorry, milligram. It's a like 8 milligram fucking syringe. So like there's like no 10. And there's like um 8 to like maybe like 7.5, like a little bit like around there. That was what was left in it, and I had to get on a plane, and I realized that I had to like run my fucking luggage through this like thing. It was like straight through the X-ray thing, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like travel with this. So I like made a quick like excuse to go to the washroom and took the rest of the stuff. Like
God damn.
it was a lot. It was a lot. And like I was like, okay, so this is the plan. I'm gonna I'm gonna take the rest of this because I'm like, I'm not a waster. I do not waste anything. I do not waste anything.
I wonder what
So,
they would do. I wonder what they would do about those. There's like a BDSM gun. It's a fake gun that you do like, you know, role play, I guess, or you integrate
ooh.
the gun and make her suck your gun, that kind of thing.
Yo, that's so hot. Okay,
I'm
so like
surprised you
you
didn't
could
know about
still
that.
do that with a regular gun. You
Hmm.
just don't have a clip in it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, or you can get a replica gun. I guess you can
No,
do
you just
that.
get a
Yeah.
regular gun.
A regular
Don't
gun.
put a clip in it.
So she can.
Or, 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 or if you're a little bit hardcore, you have a clip in there, you have the fucking safety, and you make sure that thing is like down.
Oh yeah.
Like there ain't no like, there's no way that thing is like moving. You know what I mean? Like you just like it is for extra danger.
I, I would not do it with bullets in there. I do
I
not
wouldn't either, but like, I mean,
because they don't want to.
some people are hot on that shit. So
Nobody will ever
you just make
believe
sure that you just make sure that there's like a little fucking pin that holds that fucking safety.
if
Like
it's a
you
man.
have to like go in there with tweezers
If
to
it's a man
like
who did.
pry it out.
If it's a man who did it, they will never believe it's an accident. They will just they will
No man,
you did on purpose. So I wouldn't put any bullets in the gun.
I'd want to like create a little danger contraption. I'm sorry. I'm kind
Oh,
of like more danger. I like the threat, but like
well, I guess we could
I
put.
also don't though. Like I'm like, if a gun went off in my like shit, like that could be like I don't know what would be wrong with me if I'd live through
Like,
that.
well, I guess you could use blanks. Maybe that's the way around it, or rubber bullets.
Can you have a blank shot up in your vagina though?
No, that I don't think that would happen.
You're like, no.
I think the shell would just kind of maybe it would fall next to it, but no, the
I'm
blank is
not.
just
It wouldn't do anything.
no, it just the shells just fall to the floor, and
But
that's
I
what they.
mean, if it was shot up into.
Well, if it was actually inserted into you, maybe the shell would go inside. I don't know. If it were like embedded deep.
Yeah, that's true because the shell pumps off obviously through the back, like,
Yeah,
but um,
but
like
the
okay,
explosion
wait,
because the
depends on
explosion.
what kind of gun too.
Well, it's gonna hurt because basically what goes on inside the gun when you fire it is a small explosion, so it could
Ooh.
burn you down there, right? So you don't want that.
Or do you? No, I'm just
Well, hopefully not. That's gonna be a
kidding.
lot of surgeries for that one.
Yeah, that's like I mean, what if you had a wide vagina? Would it be like would it be like kind of one of those like
Well,
sort of
that,
like
that's delicate skin, so I don't know.
a I'm sorry, for some reason like this is really fascinating me.
Fascinating, eh?
Like how much could a vagina take? We can birth babies though, right?
Yeah,
So
but
like
babies aren't they're
I
not
know they're not explosive.
they're not
They're not
exploding at you.
explosive.
Yeah, yeah. Probably pain. Maybe the pain's the same amount, but yeah, probably a shotgun would be more arousing, right? Because it's long.
Ooh. I mean, if it's done right, like people are gonna think I'm so fucking weird, but I'm like, my ADD is kind of like, well, see, if you like muzzled and like did like sort of like a contraption and like
Somebody has
I'm
to
like building in my head, like.
somebody has to have made like a gun-shaped dildo by now. I don't see why that.
Oh yeah, totally. And then it was like that fucking thing. Did you see the thing on Howard Stern where it was like basically like a, you know how uh shit, the fucking, what are they? Those things that run on fucking tracks, not trains. The fucking, oh my god, I can't believe my
Monorail,
brain is farting on this right now.
uh,
But it's the like fucking they shoot
streetcar.
things. No, they like fucking tanks.
Uh,
Tanks. I can't believe I can't. Anyway, so tanks. Um, shit.
there's a
I was.
sexual device involving
Oh
tank.
yes. Okay, Howard Stern. So like how like those tanks, like you know the wheels, right?
It rolls on that thing.
Yeah,
Like
like that tread,
yeah,
right? The tread. So Howard Stern, somebody like created this device with like tongues on it, and it was like that tread thing with tongues, and it like there's like a lubricated thing, and like it just like it went and like did this girl, and the girl like basically like got off on that shit until she like squirted, and it actually got the like cameraman.
yeah. He was in the firing
Yeah,
range.
he was totally in the fire range. It's actually worthwhile like checking that one out. It is a good video. It's classic, basically. Classic Howard Stern. That's I'm old. We're old.
Oh, I saw a video where this girl was supposed to be tattooed or pierced or something, one of those two. But but it was like around the vaginal region. And every time the guy went to work there, she squirted like it's just over and over again. She's that sensitive.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I've heard some stories
Uh,
of overly sensitive and like how like different things are for certain women. Cause like so like that age old like fight of like is it pee or is it not?
oh yeah, yeah.
So like that is a legitimate fight because for some women it might actually be pee and for some women it's not.
But what could it be if it's not that?
It's just like it's like legit like
Like what your tears are
H2O
made of or
like
something?
yeah, shit like that. Like it's actually not like not that thing.
Well, we do have
Sometimes
longer
it
pants.
does like mix a little bit more with it,
Yeah.
but
Well,
you know,
a woman's body must retain more liquid than a man's, I
it
guess.
can. Like we're weird. Like I don't know what the fuck is up with us. Like
Like,
I feel like I'm like I am like sometimes I feel a little bit like an alien in my own body.
well, isn't bloating one of the symptoms of having
Yeah, and
kid?
there's no rhyme or reason to that. Like I've bloated over dumbass shit, and like it's just like why do I like look so fat right now? Like, and it's like oh you ate the wrong thing with this other wrong thing, and you're also really close to your period, but your hormones are all fucked up, and also you like are maybe suffering some allergy. I don't even know. Like there's things like for a woman, there's all kinds of fucking variables. It's stupid. But with like a dude, it's like either you're sick or you're not fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. With a woman, it's like it could be on your rag, it could be this, it could be that. Blah, blah, blah. Like there's so many fucking things. It sucks.
A lot of variables there. All right. So, speaking of sexual organs, the title of
Yeah.
the next one is stretching my organ. So my organ has always been on the smaller side of the scale. So you guys, you can guess, is written by a man. 2 years ago, I came across a web blog featuring organ stretching, weight hanging, pumping, and manual stretching techniques for obtaining additional size. I ordered a unit for attaching light weights and a vacuum pump for increasing girth. I started using this equipment religiously, and over the next few months, I developed an additional half inch in girth and 3/4 of an inch in length when
Good for
flaccid.
him.
Yeah, my engorged length gain was a half an inch and a half inch of girth. Not a huge increase, but surprisingly, this increase made a huge difference in appearance when standing in front of a mirror. I had kept this from my wife, and I can tell it has made a difference in her feel of my unit when it is first introduced to her inner self. I just now do the exercises sporadically to maintain my new size. Well, I don't believe this for a second. I think it's the placebo effect. He's been sold a lot of bullshit merchandise and he just bought into it.
Well, how does Kegels work then?
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking like, say a doctor told you that you like lost 5 pounds even though you hadn't, you might actually believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can be bamboozled into believing.
Okay, yeah, like okay, so you are right on that, but there's also like positive reinforcement
Yeah,
that works with it, right? It's like you believe it, you start believing it, and then in turn you actually do it.
yeah,
Like sometimes it's weird, but like I don't know, like I don't I don't like really like go out of my way to lie to people about their appearance or anything.
yeah.
But if I notice that they look good and they're glowing, they're like, things like that, I'll like tell them. I'll tell them that. But I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna tell them a blatant lie. Just 'cause like honestly it matters. Like you want people to know that you're an honest person, but you also want people to know that you appreciate that person
What
and like efforts.
there was a reality show years ago. I don't remember what it was called, but it involved bringing people up on a stage, and these judge type people would analyze their appearance and point out flaws, and the higher points. Did you ever watch it?
Was it Swan?
Hot or Not or Model, maybe America's Top Model. I don't remember what it was, but they were just brutally on in the same way that they're brutally honest on American Idol. They were doing it with a person's appearance.
American Top Model, or like Top
Next top,
Model, was really bad. Like
I
it
couldn't
was
do it.
bad that way, but like the one that I like, okay, so like that one where like they were brutally honest and all this shit. There was another one where they did like they gave people plastic surgeries.
Oh, is that right? To yeah,
Swan, like that was one of my favorite fucking like. It's so underrated, but it's so amazing. Like there's people there was people that honestly like there's some people that didn't really need work. Like they didn't. They like when you watch it now, you're like, okay, that person like literally could have put a lot of work in themselves and created something good. You know, they didn't need to like bug a fucking like a place to like get them on a show, because like there's other people that like really deserved it more. You know what I mean? Anyway, so like you've seen like the fucking turnaround. Like some of these people are like, I've looked like this way all my life. I don't have any teeth. I don't have this and that. And, like they're like, and then they're just given like all of this fucking plastic surgery. Mind you, it's like within a few months. So like it's a lot for your body to handle. So like there's a lot like to kind of like adhere to. You have to
yeah.
like eat right, sleep right, all that stuff. Get through like the like weird shit that your body goes through when you have like these surgeries, because it hurts, and they also aren't allowed to have a mirror. So they don't know what they look like.
Well, I mean, the most interesting plastic surgery story I ever heard was Jennifer Grey, who played Baby in Dirty Dancing. For some
Right.
reason, she had a problem with her nose. I don't think there's
Yeah.
anything wrong with it, but anyway, she had a nose job, and then after it ruined her career because nobody recognized her. Like she said, people that she knew for years, they didn't recognize her in the street. She'd be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And they're like, "Do I know you?" And she really
Wow.
does look very different. And so yeah, that just it she thought it would make her life better and her career better, but it just destroyed it, you know.
That's crazy. Like
Any-
sometimes you just have to keep the thing that is like unique to you. And then like that's the thing. It's like some people really want to like change themselves like top to bottom. And like I get it if it's sort of like a sex change thing. You want to like, transition into a beautiful butterfly. And that is like that's amazing. But there is a point where you go over the top, and sometimes this stuff becomes an addiction. And also, there's like a lot of little things that come with it that people don't talk about. There's like a sort of like downswing, like after you get all this stuff done. Um, you it's like your body is depleted of a lot of like um it's hard to describe it. It's like almost like emotional repair. Like it's just not
yeah,
able to like kind of grasp a lot of emotional stuff. And you're just like, why? Like you end up questioning why you did what you did. But like a lot of the time, it's just like a very fleeting moment. That's the thing. What
yeah,
it is, it's a quick like dip in all of your hormones and that, because you've like hurt yourself a lot, and your body's trying to recuperate. Like people don't like think about surgeries in a way where it's like it actually takes a lot of trauma. Like it hurts you, and like your body has like weird ass ways of like recuperating. And these weird ass ways of recuperating can send you into like suicidal fucking, like it can send you into depressions. It's really crazy.
yeah. Liberace had so many facelifts he couldn't close his eyes.
Oh, what?
Yeah, imagine sleeping with someone and
No.
sleeping but their eyes are open. That's
Okay,
that's
so
real.
I've seen it. I've seen it like a little bit of my life, and it's fucked up. I took pictures of it though. I was like, no, I can't believe the Satan is like right here right now. Like you have your eyes open. That's fucked up.
Well, I mean, a lot of older celebrities that keep getting these plastic surgeries to look younger, but
Yeah, but they
it
fuck
doesn't
their
work.
shit up.
It just turns you into like a Frankenstein. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, okay, so there is a way of doing this gracefully, right? Like people don't have it like a lot of these people with money, they don't have it right. They don't. Look at Madonna. Madonna went weird.
Well, she pumps iron like crazy now.
Yeah, but do you see her face though? Like it's like
Yeah, she could have had work done. Yeah, because
no, she had a lot of work done.
she must have had
And
Botox because it looks like her
yeah,
face doesn't have much.
she's got like a weird like shape to it now though. Like it's like she's like I don't know. She doesn't look real.
Yeah,
Like
I guess I don't know at what point it was, but yes, at somewhere along the line, she just
it's
lost.
only just recently that I noticed it myself. But I mean, I haven't been in the loop, you know, like I really haven't. Or it might have been when she like fucking was in that like leotard when she's like dancing in that video. Like there was a video, she looked really hot, but you're kind of like you're like weirdly very hot for like and you're like 60 right now. Like
Yeah. Well, she had like 20 good years in music, and that's pretty much all it's been. She's not able to be relevant anymore.
no, like what is she doing now? Not really like anything. She's just touring probably.
Well, also like it's just she used sex to market herself, and a lot of
Yeah.
kind of
And
shock.
now she's she can't do that.
Yeah, it's like you can shock people by
I
making up.
could do that still, but like I only got 20 more years of that.
Well, yeah, it's like you can no longer shock people by being a Satanist like Marilyn Manson did. You can't shock people
Oh
by.
man, now he's a Christian.
Yeah. Oh, he's a Christian now?
Yeah, did you not see that fucking video of him and Kanye West and Justin Bieber doing a prayer?
No, I thought that
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah.
all I've heard about him recently is like the abuse
Oh,
out.
Evan Rachel Woods shit, right? Yeah. Okay, so with him now, and this was like maybe about a few months back, him, Kanye West, and Justin Bieber were doing a prayer. They're all done up in white. They're like wearing these white, like fucking weird ass outfits. Justin Bieber led a prayer, and I guess fucking Kanye played his fucking song from Donda. And like, I don't know if this is like fucking Marilyn Manson trying to like gain redemption or what. But it like honestly was just like
Well, he has to have hit a
I don't
low
know what
point.
this is.
He
And
has
I
to.
don't like
Oh,
it. Like just be true to yourself. Like be like, okay, look, I fucked up. I was like really fucked up on drugs and like they took me. That's all you gotta do. Like it's really not that fucking hard. Like and like so many people have just gone to like, not that he has to go to rehab. He doesn't have to fucking do that. As long as he just fucking admits. He's like, this is what I did. I was horrible to some people. And it's even documented some of it in Long Hard Road Out of Hell.
yeah, I read that.
I've read it a couple times.
Yeah, I remember he did write about like degrading some girl who was kind of a crazy.
Yeah, well, no, you know what was worse to me?
What?
Fucking the keyboardist, Pogo, which I loved. I had the biggest crush on Pogo. But he was like, they were fucking this deaf chick, right? And he's like, I'm gonna come right in your useless ear canal.
Oh, I don't know. That's not abusive, is it? I mean, if you do it without consent.
She can't hear
Yeah,
it.
true. But you'd still have.
Sorry, but like I know that was
But
like oh
a lot of them
bad,
can read lips.
but she
So,
can't hear it, so
yeah,
you
you could write it down, or you could maybe she could read your
could
lips.
sign it. Like I mean, I've always wanted to learn sign language, and honestly, a lot of it would be me just talking shit
Yeah.
with my hands.
Well, I'm sure there must be
Like, you know what?
signs.
Fuck you, you piece of shit. Your mom's a cunt and a whore. And like, it'd be like, with my hands, like, just bang, bang, bang. Fucking, yep.
You would, you could get away with saying those things to people who don't know American Sign
Exactly.
Language.
No one would know. Like, unless they were deaf. They'd be like, what the fuck you saying about my mom? And then you'd be like, oh shit. It would be like that.
Well, he has to have stooped. The same guy who used to wipe his ass with the Bible on stage he was sunk pretty low if he's praying with Christians now.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, no, I'm surprised you didn't know about that.
yeah, I haven't been following the news, so yeah.
Yeah, I've been kind of little bit following like what's been up with Marilyn Manson. The last thing I heard was that he was like kind of like dying.
Dying.
Yeah.
Too much absinthe, I guess.
Too much fucking cocaine, probably.
Well, I'm
He
sure.
was
Oh, yeah,
fucking
he's done
like a
that.
fucking nose beers monster.
Have
Like
you ever
all the time.
have you ever had absinthe before?
I've had it a bit, but not like the traditional way. I want it. I want the real shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually want to smoke opium like Lewis Carroll.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's no less addictive though.
No, I mean I don't give a shit about how addictive it is. Like I don't. I just want to do it. I just want to try it. You
So you
know.
sure you can walk away after the one
Oh
time?
fuck yeah. I'd have to just like honestly, it's like a little bit of mental preparation. That's all it is for me, because like when it comes to those things, it's like it's real easy to just like look at those people that like literally gave up, like they still all their things in life, and it's like they got no teeth, they got like nothing, this
Yeah,
and
that,
that.
yeah.
It's like that's not what you want. You need to, figure it out.
Yeah.
You don't go down that route where you fucking like sell your shit and like basically like owe millions and millions and millions of dollars and like probably like fear for your life every day.
Or
You-
prostituting, yeah.
or you're prostituting, you're basically like literally just like paying like, yeah, it's no, that is no way to live. What you want to do is have a fucking life.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like I posted on Facebook. Somebody wrote this meme like, "Would you do crack for $1 billion?" And I wrote, "Well, you'd spend the $1 billion on crack. That's what would happen."
No,
Yeah,
I would do it and then be like, cool, I'm gonna go invest this $1 billion. Like
for sure, because a lot of people smoke. I remember some guy saying,
some people are
right,
just like, man, okay, I'll do that, and then like, yeah, the $1 billion is gone, like legit. But I'm like, are you retarded? $1 billion.
well, you think
A
a crack,
billion dollars. You would die
you
before that
think
was
crack,
spent.
you think crack wouldn't make you retarded? I think it would.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like you do that, you do the little bit, and then you take that $1 billion, you go buy yourself a house, you go live a good life, and then you do crack occasionally,
Yeah,
maybe.
you'll OD. You'll just kill. That's
No, fuck man, no. Like me, no. I like enjoying life a lot, I do. I like life.
well,
Life
so
provides way more cooler things than just doing drugs.
well, so do crackheads, but their idea of enjoying life is
Yeah, it's doing crack, but like my idea of enjoying life is like going over to Greece, going to
yeah,
fucking Spain, going places, meeting people, getting like an actual like fucking cool ass pad. Ooh, shit, I'm gonna break things. I getting a cool pad and like a couple of spots, like one of them I'd fucking sublet, whatever, because you need some money coming in, whatever. But you have some cool spots. You buy yourself an island, you know. $1 billion is gonna go a fucking long ass way. It's $1 billion.
yeah, of course. Well, I mean,
Damn,
for me, I would just,
that's an easy one for me.
well, I would make all the movies and TV shows I'd want to
Fuck
make.
it.
Yeah, could have it. All right. So, who has the next
I
confession?
think I did like the whole.
You
I don't. We went on a tangent.
fucking.
We could just do like maybe like 3 today if you want.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that the last tangent started off from the stretching my organ.
It was the alpha male. No, wait. I did an alpha male one,
So it was
but
you.
then you did the stretching your organs.
Okay. So,
Wait.
uh, well, we've gone about an hour and a half. So
Like I don't know.
we could do one. We could leave off with your next one, and we'll
Okay.
that.
Okay, cool. So, getting the belt. I'm 19 and still living at home with my mom and stepdad who believe in corporal punishment for any aged child living at home. I'm currently not able to afford my own place, although I'm trying to. My mom tells me my stepdad something every couple weeks. What? Tells my stepdad something, okay, which he deems direct disobedience, which is cause for him to take me downstairs to a spare bedroom in our basement and make me completely disrobe and lay face down on the twin bed in this room that nobody is permitted to be in except when being punished. And he removes his leather belt, folds it in half, and snaps it multiple times before giving me 10 to 20 searing licks across my bared bottom and upper legs.
Uh,
That sounds kind of kinky.
oh yeah, this is not just corporal punishment. This is
No,
sexual abuse to have them to have.
this
Did
is
they say what?
a secret beating room.
Did they say what their gender is? The victim is
I
a
don't
girl,
know.
because it must be a girl. Like
It has to be a girl.
to have them remove all their clothes.
Yeah,
Those
and
are
it's a
sexual.
stepdad. It's a stepdad. It's a
Oh yeah,
stepdad.
yeah. He's just cloaking the.
Oh, yeah, he's like, I'm the dad. So, and he's like fucking, like, got a fucking raging ass fucking boner while he's watching this fucking 19-year-old fucking girl undress.
Yeah,
And, like, fucking, like, whipping her and listening to her go, like, wow.
yeah. That's what it's all about. She needs to get the fuck out of there now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's 19 and unless, like, I mean, yeah, no, get the fuck out of there. It's not a good thing. There's a part of me that's just like, well, you like depending on how old the stepdad is, but I'm assuming the stepdad's probably older.
Yeah, he's probably a secret perv.
Oh yeah.
Sad thing.
Well, they're in a room where they can't, like, no one else can go. It's the punishment
Yeah, the
room.
fucking basement. Yeah. And the sad thing about a lot of girls who were abused growing up is they end up with the worst fucking guys. Just terrible men.
True.
Like, especially if there was no father around, or if it was just like an abusive stepfather, like a sexually abusive stepfather. They might end up like being a stripper, and they start dating the guy who owns the club, and he's like a total scumbag, just shitty,
Yeah.
like some guy named Randy. I don't know why
Randy. I know Randy is a good one. I was like,
it's a shady name.
he's a greasy guy.
They are.
Randy is a greasy guy.
I would never, if I had a son, I would not name him Randall or any variation.
Yeah, no, Randy. Like, no. Mm-mm.
It's like the name of a porn distributor, which
Yeah.
they don't really exist anymore. It's all internet now. Back in the day, in like '85 or something like that, guys like them were distributing the porn videos, and
Yeah.
and they own the strip clubs, and that's just because sometimes when I watch porn, I'm just thinking this is like the bad parenting film festival right here, because if you were a good parent,
This
how?
is terrible.
Yeah, even if your son just ends up being in porn, that's a bad thing. You fucked up somehow. But
Yes.
if the girl's doing it, I mean, I'm sure there are exceptions. Like Sasha Grey's family knew a guy.
Oh man, we were like fucking talking about Sasha Grey last time. I
Yeah,
love her.
they came to terms with it, I guess.
And fucking okay, so Belladonna, she's cool too.
Yeah, I don't.
She's an anal queen.
She's
Check out Belladonna, you would love her. Belladonna. You're welcome.
does
Trust
she
me.
do like double anal?
She is like the dom, but she also like she gets it, like she takes it, but she also distributes.
Oh yeah.
She's super good. Like you want to see that.
Pegging, yeah.
Belladonna, definitely. I mean, a good way to like kind of dip your toes in it, I would say, is like going for those like the two pirate movies that I was talking to you about, like Pirates One, Pirates Two. They're like high production fucking porn movies, but they got some serious people on this. Like they do, and they're hot. They're so hot, so hot. Like there's okay, so both of them got Jesse James in it, and I don't know which one I like more because like I think the second one has Sasha Grey in it, and it's good. But anyways, those like it's like sort of your like porn 101. Those two movies like is a good introduction to like porn. Like it's like your porn all stars almost.
Yeah, I guess young women have to kind of be eased into it.
You have to be fucking no, you have to be fucking creative too. Cause like that's what like fucking got Sasha Grey like popular
Well,
and Belladonna.
I went back and checked out like some of the earliest movies ever, like Behind the Green Door and Deep Throat. I
Yeah.
saw those early classics.
Well, what about the one with fucking Tracy Lords where she was like actually like
Well,
young?
there's only one video she ever did where she was of legal age. I can't remember what it's called, but it involves all these Japanese people.
What?
The rest of the movies she's done are basically child pornography because she lied
Yeah.
her age.
She was 17.
Yeah, the industry lost $4 million because of her lying about that.
Oh my
Just
god.
like back, I mean, that's not a lot of money in
Well, what
Hollywood.
about Brooke Shields though?
Well, I don't
Like,
think.
what about that shit?
What did
Brooke
she appear?
Shields was like fucking 10, fucking in Playboy.
Really?
Like,
I didn't know.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Look up the like Brooke Shields Playboy shit. Like,
But she
look it
wasn't that,
up.
right? She was
Her
just.
mom signed off on like her being like fucking. She was young, like way young, too young. And it was like, honestly, it's nothing. It's like when you compare that shit to what Tracy Lords did, like they all like it took us a long time to actually figure out what fucking legal age was, right? And I'm like, I'm not siding with the fucking pedophiles at all when I say this shit, but like literally like way back, like in like the 1700s, 1800s, people were fucking marrying way young,
Yeah.
right?
Totally.
Like super young. It only like fucking it's like basically the same sort of turn of events. Like we had to take a lot of time to figure out what the shit was happening there. 'Cause there was that, there was incest, there was like
Well,
all this
basically,
stuff that was happening.
we're the only species that views a teen pregnancy as like a tragedy. Every other species, that's just the normal way. That's
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
cats like literally like 1 or 2 years old sometimes, or
Yeah.
even dogs like they're like young.
The first time the female is an estrus, they're ready. They just
Yeah, and
they're
like that's how it was with us too. Like as soon as we fucking had our period, and like for some people it was like it was young. Like for me, I was like fucking 12. Can
yeah.
you imagine? Like I would be ready to fucking have a kid then? No.
No,
But
you're
that's how it was like 200 years ago.
Oh yeah, you would have have
I
babies.
would have had like a baby and like one on the way. Like,
Yeah, because you need farm labor, and so you would have had like
yeah, you're like just literally like this is what you do now. You are pumping out at least 5 to 10 kids.
God, need a goddamn hysterectomy after all that.
Yeah, fuck that life, man. No,
That
no.
that
I
that is so un-Rosanna, that kind of life.
could not do it. I would bring a kid in to this world because I love them and like, you want to like basically make a mini you, like because you think that maybe another little you can make a difference in the world. That's like that's basically the end all hope. I know it's like a bit narcissistic, but essentially you want to put all the good things that you know into this person and try to make them the best you that you possibly can because you want to kind of carry out your shit. But like it's hard. Like we got fucking COVID happening. It's like fucked up. Like people are like all kinds of fucked up. And there's like, I mean, there's more mental illness. I mean, I think it's like basically kind of remained the same. It's just people are like more vocal about it.
Well, the population of poor people keeps growing, and money problems can give you a lot of anxiety and depression. So I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
why there's
there's
more.
a trickle effect that happens for
But
sure.
yeah, cost of housing keeps going up, but salaries and wages are not.
It's just like you get overwhelmed, right? It's like
Yeah.
there's no way to get ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a low maintenance person, but I mean, I
Same.
still want basic expenses covered, you know?
Well, it's like honestly, I feel like what I'm asking for to live on a daily basis isn't asking that much.
Yeah, me neither, yeah.
Like it's basic human needs.
Yeah. But when you're food insecure, that's a little hard to live with. So,
Yeah, man. Like it's like, and when you like, say you even have like things like issues with certain foods, like people who have gluten things or whatever, like allergies to certain things, like things get expensive. You
yeah.
can't just like fucking expect people to like shell out all this stuff because that just happens to be how it is when you have this thing.
Are you
Like,
would you be able to be like a freelance tattoo artist, or does it have to be done in a facility?
I can do kind of, well,
I mean, well,
I
yeah,
want to say this, but like, I don't, I can and cannot do what I want to do, but yes. If that answers anything, I'm
yeah,
trying to like not be incriminating because I mean honestly like with this fucking whole like being a fucking contractor like you already have it out for like it
yeah.
sucks. You chose being a contractor and that means you're gonna fucking just like live and die poor.
Well, they should let you have.
Like
There should at least be like a card they could issue to you that says, this person's
like
legal.
yo, I'm doing manual labor here, bitch. Just give me extra money. That's all it
Yeah.
means. Like
Yeah, right. Just a
I'm dealing
card.
with a lot of crap. Like, trust me. I'm
Yeah.
part therapist. I'm not licensed. I am not a licensed therapist, but I also do manual labor. So, like,
Yeah. Well, do you do the piercings too?
I've done piercings and I can do piercings, but I'm not a piercer. If that answers anything.
Or do you really have to like double
I
check?
honestly, I don't need a license for it. I can do them, and I won't hurt you. You won't bleed out for sure. But um, if I was to work in a shop, they probably would want to see a little bit more certification than what I can provide, which is zero certification.
So what about the ear gouges? Isn't that a special
I
operation?
did all that myself. Like I did the ear stretching, but like when I got my ears like pointed, I paid for that. I did that. I Yeah. So uh, and then the tongue splitting, that was also, I paid for that. But I know how they did it, and I also know how to do sutures. I don't know how to do a lot of the other little in between steps because there's a lot of things that I can't say for legal reasons, and I'm not going to. It's
Since
legit for legal reasons because like things are weird between like being a really good body mod artist piercer and a nurse.
Hmm.
There's things that need
Oh,
anyway.
totally.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, like the whole like all of the mods and shit like that's a whole different story. Like doing piercings is pretty quick and easy. Like
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just doing standard stuff.
Did branding ever take off? They're just.
Branding is like actually, you know what's really cool? There's branding. You can take like
Oh.
an orb, basically. You go out like into like a really sunny day. You get this orb, and the orb like it's like it's like a crystal ball kind of thing. It concentrates the sunlight and like does a solar brand into you. You can do that. Or you can use a cauterizing machine.
Oh, so it's probably less painful, right?
Yeah, the cauterizing machine would be super less painful, but I would want to have some sun rays in me, I think.
Hmm.
It'd be kind of fun. Not really like fun, but like fun to be like, I have like, I've been burnt by the sun, like it's in me, like they actually have some proof.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we've blown our wad for this
We've
week.
blown our wad. We didn't even get to finish like all of our confessions, which is actually kind of cool. We like really went on a tangent, and I like that.
Yes, we did. All right. Well, thank you for joining me once again this week.
Well, thank you.
Have yourself a great weekend.
I will, and you too.
Thank you. Take care.
You as well.
Bye bye.
Bye.